Welcome back, Annihilation Nation, and happy Juneteenth to everyone here. We got a match for you tonight. It's gonna be Jade Dynasty versus a Fable Maelstrom here. My name is Alex. I will be your color or play-by-play caster, and to help me do all that work is going to be the one, the only Marlo. Not here with us just yet. We'll get that. And in the production box, we have the one, the only Throne Pillow. And before we get everything settled here, if you do enjoy any of this, do join our Discord, as we do have this tournament running, and you still can participate, I do believe. But you can also participate in other tournaments that we have running in the future. Just type in !Discord, and with that, we'll get everything settled and ready to roll. Oh, so I might have lied. We're not going anywhere. We're going straight into Ilios. I'm going without a caster, so we're solo balling this. That's fine, because I have the bans, and right now, for Jade Dynasty, they're going to be banning the horse out. For Fable, of course, you're going to be seeing a Tracer ban. The rosters are as followed. On the side of Jade, you have Jack, Navigator, Sandra, Payton, and Azur Tekken. On the side of Fable, Matsy, you got Gatsby, Gigi, Sanity, Solar, Monkey, and Vala Volks.
Ready for battle.
Alright, we're seeing a cat here. Of course, I don't know if it's going to be a cat hog or we're going to see a switch off to cat Bastion. But there's a cat on the side of Jade Dynasty. On the side of Fable Maelstrom, we see a more standard composition here, a very rush-heavy comp in the Mauga Reaper Kiriko Juno with a Sojourn as your hit scan player. And it does look like Jade Dynasty is going to be rolling out this funky little comp they have. It's going to be Hog Cat here, or maybe not. I'm really interested to see how this cat works with this composition. Not really known to be a sustained healer or a healer really that puts out too much output in its general here. But we do have a fight for the Lighthouse. Lucio looking for some early boops on the side of Fable. Maelstrom here. We have the engage Jack. Heavy pressure. 4 people looking at him from a Jade Dynasty, but the pull of the Life Weaver is good. So the unorthodox backline of Jade Dynasty right now doing wonders. But angles onto Jack is going to force them back, going to keep that hog pressure of the hook down. And you see the engage, a beautiful stomp goes onto Jack. However, the pull is good once more. They still want to put the pressure onto the hog, but with the hog going onto Lighthouse and in the background line of their own team, you see the kills coming in for Maelstrom here. As the only one left is going to be the Echo for Jade Dynasty, and the first cap is going to go on to Maelstrom. Alright, looking at this alt bank right now, not too close on both sides. The only ones closer are going to be the Life Weaver at 65%, and Gatsby, of course, on the Mauga for Jade Dynasty, and a beautiful 1-2 play by a Kiriko and a Sojourn Rails to take out the Flex DPS on a Jade Dynasty. That's going to be your Echo player here. But like I was saying, these alts now coming into their own. We're probably going to see at least a 1 alt fight here, maybe in the mid, but right now poke as Jade Dynasty is waiting for the Echo. Jack does find the Lucio here. However, Gatsby trading out Jack here for Jade Dynasty. So right now, each team down 1 player, but for Jade Dynasty, you're down a tank, a main component. Now you're down your hit scan player. So right now, Maelstrom has room to play. As you see, they're playing much more forward up. They switch from the Hog on to the Diva. Does come out, and here comes the Echo. A great stomp, gets 2. Catnap, good. Tree comes out. Cage out. 2 kills for Jade here. Beat is also thrown out, and another cage by the copy. We're going to have just all the fights here and all the ultimates, as I don't think a single team has used it. The only person who has it is Sanity on the side of Maelstrom, and right now the fight looks like it's going the way of Dynasty. It's a 3v2 Lucio trying to put in some work for Maelstrom here. Jack going in and killing Gatsby. So while the respawners of Maelstrom are back, it is not... It's going to be a very tough fight for them to get. There's a 94% for Maelstrom here. A great shot. Does not find the kill onto Lucio, bringing him low, and Jade Dynasty is going to get their first point progression as the rest of Maelstrom has now regrouped and are going to set up. They're going to put up GG Sanity as they throw the OC in. Gets pressured out by this D.Va. This is exactly what you want your team to be doing. Trying to get this away. D.Va Bomb going out. How many does this kill? It doesn't kill anything, but a beautiful boop into the hole goes the Reaper on the side of Dynasty here. Sanity traded out, not getting too much value off the OC. Trying to put pressure onto Jack, who is quite low. However, he's traded out eventually on the side of Maelstrom's Kiriko. So right now, Jade Dynasty holding strong, but as Gatsby takes one more as the hit scan player. Probably looking to reset quick. Oh, goes for the small health pack, getting pressured out by this cat here. And eventually is found out by Jack. Maelstrom needs to have a clean regroup here. Hasn't had that in quite some time, as Jade Dynasty has been building onto 50% towards point progress here on Well. See the Reaper stepping up, trying to get some kills here for Solar. As we have the regroup come in here for Maelstrom. Looks like they're going to try to take right side into Cage here on Lighthouse. It is 64% to 98. Maelstrom just needs a few good picks, but that's not going to help. GG Sanity going down first. Jade Dynasty up, players up in ultimates. The only one on the side of Maelstrom who does have it is this beat. Of course, the Cage and Kiriko can come out this fight if he built it. We're coming close right now. 82% for Jade Dynasty. They have all the ults. Here comes the tree from the Lifeweaver. Not too useful of an ult, but does force the fight to go back a little bit. We do see the tank of Maelstrom dying, but we also see Navigator going off the map, but that does not matter as Azor picks 2 here on the side of Maelstrom here. Right now they are up. Overtime is clicking for Jade Dynasty. Beat is out, only good for 2 here as Sanity does go down. Catnap goes wide as a Kiriko gets a teleport out. Reaper throws his Death Blossom out, but is quickly stomped out by Azor. Navigator does find the Solar, so there's no Reapers on either side of battle. However, Jack swooping in, finding the Kiriko. That is a large source of healing gone for Maelstrom. Cage goes wide, does not hit anything, and it looks like Jade Dynasty is gonna take Well.
Score 1-0.
All right, we're on Ruins, folks. So far, teams only switching right now is Gatsby going off of that Malga onto the D.Va. And we're seeing what Navigator wanted to choose. They were picking that Sierra last round. Did have a few good picks. However, not as consistent as a Sojourn with those rails to put the pressure on the front line. But honestly, D.Va's still very strong in this meta. It's going to be hard for hit scans to really get anything going as we see both teams going on. We have very similar compositions except for instead of the Kiriko on the side of Maelstrom, Dynasty is choosing this Lifeweaver. An unorthodox pick, didn't get too much love in this patch notes here, which is unfortunate for the Lifeweaver heads out there, all like 3 of them. But we see map split in 2 right now. Both teams in a prolonged standard duel. Kira TP out for Maelstrom Kiriko. Both teams just rotating around this point. Point does unlock early progress by Jade, but they find a dive target they want to go on. Jack right now, half health, getting pressured down. D.Va sees Azor low, 1 HP. Gets the mega health pack, does it. Both Reapers without form. Jack finding Solar, the Reaper of Maelstrom here, goes down early. However, the Lucio on the side of Jade Dynasty falls early, so that's a support missing on the side of Jade Dynasty. And talking about another falling, the Reaper on that side does fall, and Jack, of course, gonna go fly into the point. They're looking for a reset, Jade Dynasty. You know, the stagger would be great, but you don't have the point unlocked, so kind of no point for that, just kind of stalling out your own time. But still 0-0, and Maelstrom is going to be the first ones to cap point. Jack coming back quickly here on the D.Va. Gatsby, closest one to ultimates in this match. right now. Maelstrom sitting at 12% as we see the first engage of this second fight here on the map. Jack not going deep, trying to pressure out this right side where a lot of Maelstrom players are going. Kiriko low, TP forced out, and Suzu, however, Solar finds Navigator here. Jade Dynasty down one player, but Jack finds Sanity on the opposite end, so both down a DPS, scratch that. Maelstrom down a support character now, down the Kiriko, so that's a large source of healing. However, Gatsby not going down without a fight, does find the Lucio on Jade Dynasty's side. You see Jack as a missile going after the opposite Lucio. Here comes a tree, and here comes a bomb. Gonna get that remech. Does kill that tree outright. Jade Dynasty does find another pick onto the Reaper on the opposite end of Maelstrom. So right now, 5v4 in favor of Jade Dynasty. However, the point still in Maelstrom's favor, building up to about 60%. Gatsby on the side of Maelstrom does get demech'd, and the point flip goes over to Jade Dynasty here. Jack finally finding Gatsby, and maybe this is going to be the first time that Jade Dynasty gets their foot in this map. Gonna force Maelstrom back.
Hello? Hello? Hello. Well, it's nice for me to finally, like, hop in. Hello, I'm Marlo, other caster. But you're doing a great job. My other caster.
I appreciate that, but we have a fight going on. We'll do the introductions after this. The Vega comes out, the Reaper ult comes out. Death Blossom, good for one, gets the Lucio before the beat can be popped. OC a pop by Sanity here. Not finding too many targets here, however, does find the DMech onto Jack. If they want, Maelstrom can go with the advantage of the tank. However, Kiri, Suzu, and TP has been forced on the side of Maelstrom along with the Reaper's movement ability, so they will be out of the fight within the next second. Jack finds a beautiful DMX kill onto the D.Va egg, and Jack back out of it. Here comes the OC on the opposite side. Navigator trying to find some footing for their team here. Does get blown up with a dive onto the D.Va and a great rail shot by Sanity. Tree is out, however, Jack also found out the Reaper on the side of Jade Dynasty is going crazy, finding two, keeping their team firmly in this right now. It is a 3v3. Lucio's traded out, but the Reaper of Azor still taking heads, still keeping their team alive in this. 77% for Jade Dynasty, and the respawns are coming back. Here comes the beat, good for two. That's the second of Sec 2 on the side of Maelstrom's beats. Azor still going strong. Here comes the Death Blossom on the opposite side. Solar finds Hayden here on the side of Jade Dynasty, finds the backline of Jade Dynasty. This might be the opening they are looking for. However, Azor still on this point. Does force it to overtime, 99%, and out of mech, Gatsby comes.
Azor's Reaper is actually doing a lot for his team right now. Mostly getting a lot of really good picks.
Yeah, absolutely finding crucial picks, and honestly winning some of these team fights. Right now, 99% for Jade Dynasty. They have control of the map. Going with a beat engage, only good for 3. Does not get the D.Va, does not get Azor here. However, there is no ults on the side of Maelstrom that's going to help them as Azor takes 2 out here. Navigator finding the Lucio. Azor finding Gatsby. This just might be it for Maelstrom on Ilios as point flip over. No one's a touch here for Maelstrom, so Dynasty is gonna take Ilios 2-0.
Wow, Azor literally got like half a team kill that last fight. That was really impressive. Just as soon as I compliment him, he continues to step it up. But yeah, really nice 2-0 by Dynasty.
Yeah, absolutely. Azor coming away with 14k damage. The closest one was the D.Va on the opposite side, and can't give it to Gatsby. Also putting in some incredible work. But we'll get the next map and bans to you in just a second as we roll over into the next map. Welcome back, Annihilation Nation. We have maps, we have bands, and we have another caster. Marlo, how we doing tonight?
Hello. I'm doing really good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing quite well. We're having one heck of a game between Jade, Dynasty, and Fable Maelstrom. We have the map Hollywood, and we have the bands. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so we're on Hollywood. Dynasty has chosen to attack first on Hollywood. And so that would mean... Actually, sorry. Jade wants to defend first. And so then that will have Maelstrom attack. And also... Jade has also decided to do a Diva ban. And then Maelstrom followed back with a Bastion ban.
Yeah, no, that, reading into this really took out the Cat Bastion, you know, with that Diva ban and the Bastion ban itself. So we might have been seeing that. Of course, Cat Bastion still kind of viable. They really didn't nerf too heavily the Cat. But what are you getting out of these bans?
Well, from what I saw on the first map, the Divas were doing a lot. We had like a mirror going on, so that was really fun to see. I think Diva obviously is a pretty straightforward choice when it comes to Hollywood. You know, a lot of high ground, extremely mobile, good at dive. So I think maybe someone didn't feel as confident maybe in their Diva like mirror maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna take some adapting for sure, because maybe you will go for like a Hazard or a Winston. But I think, I think Diva is obviously like maybe the safer choice in this situation, at least to me. Yeah, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. Diva, did get some nerfs in this recent patch. However, I've been playing a few rounds. I've been watching a few rounds. Still seems like a very strong character. But also on the opposite side, Sigma still seems pretty strong in this current meta. Sure, it's not as viable with the high grounds, but with some speed from a Lucio or Juno, could really reposition quite nicely here. Also, if you're not comfortable with the dive, that Mizuki's still very deadly if you want to play into a more slow brawl composition.
Yeah, actually, now that you bring that up, that makes actually a lot of sense, because Sigma, again, like you said, very strong, and you can definitely make it work with this map as well. So I think maybe Sigma actually might be like the best tank choice here, but yeah. But I guess, how do you feel about the Bastion ban?
I think the Bastion ban is just for the Cat. So, Jade Dynasty obviously probably doesn't want to deal with the Cat Bastion, and we have seen them play a few bit of Cat, so we do know it's in their hero pool. But maybe doesn't want to go up against it, especially not with a Diva off on the field, because Jack was a solid Diva player in Ilios.
Right, okay. Makes a lot of sense. Well, we have entered the map. We are currently waiting for our players to decide in a second. Yeah, I think, like I said, I really liked Azure. I loved how he was playing his Reaper last map. So, and it seemed to be a mirror as well. So I'm excited to see if he continues with it. It seems like Jack is opting for a Winston as well, with the Wu Yang Ana setup. So I think we're going more towards dive. But like you said, well, not like you said, but we're also seeing a Mauga, Kiri Lucio, on the side of Maelstrom. So
Yeah.
maybe more rush, obviously. No Sigma like we were talking about. But yeah.
This is going to be an interesting defense for Jade Dynasty. The composition right now on the side of Maelstrom, really not too friendly to a monkey. You got that pressure from the soldier. Gatsby, of course, is just standing still, but you see this rotation coming in. Really, you're looking out for the Ana's nades if you're the side of Dynasty. Those are going to be your big opening pick off here, and of course, with all of this And then
Ooh,
the
hits
beautiful nade
3.
is exactly what it talks about, but you need to force that Kiriko Suzu out first. That's going to be a big thing for your 2 hit scans, and quite frankly, that was a beautiful rotation, cutting off the angles of the hit scans onto Jade, only finding Monkey. However, Navigator opening up with 2 picks here. This could be very re-engageable with from him. Sleep onto the Malga. You see the Emery and the Wu Yang doing some work, finding Solar, so this defense can get their foot planted right back on it. A beautiful anti-nade goes on to Gatsby, however, damage cannot be pressured onto it. The Wu Yang still in a very dangerous situation. Jack eventually gets Gatsby with the help of this team. But yeah, that was actually exactly what you're looking for, minus that Kiriko Zuzu. If you want to see those big opening nades if you're Jade Dynasty.
Yeah, definitely. Doing really great so far on the nades. Like you said, let's wait it out a second, but Dynasty did really well, like playing kind of slow and not letting them get too much progress. They only got a tick so far, but we have like chunked down almost like 2 minutes, and we're also coming up to a nano, which we're probably would like to use very soon. They seem to be on high ground right now.
Yeah, high ground. Kiriko Suzu already coming out, and Rush as well. Nano goes on the Monkey, trying to build that Primal Rage. 93% jumps back and tries to get some love from the rest of the team. However, Emery and the Sojourn trading each other out on opposite sides of this map here. Solar as the Reaper Monkey in deep. Jack in a hold position here. A beautiful nade does find the kill onto Lucio and some damage here. Rushing Current goes on to Jack, and they're going to look to pressure out Gatsby. Low on HP, here comes a cage, but it's a Monkey in a barrel here. Primal Rage still going strong. The Ana on the side of Jade Dynasty is found out. Jack going to throw his Death Blossom in. Sanity going to throw the OC and try to find the win for the team. However, Azure coming alive like they've been this entire series, finding 2 picks off here and saving Dynasty's defense.
Yeah, a little bit of a back and forth with the ultimates this fight. We saw the Wu Yang, the Nano come out, which Payton is actually 50% to another one. We use a Malga Cage, and then GG Sanity also used their Soul ult. We only have DPS ults on the side of Dynasty, and a Lucio barrier. If on it, this might be a little hard. Maybe kind of want to just ult both some DPS ults likely, but you're not going to have too much for both.
Oh yeah, Living Weapon popped out from Azure. Does get that beat out, however, with the recent nerfs that beat did get last a little less longer here. Navigator does have that OC, but it doesn't matter as Azure picks up 2 here. Picks up 3, looking for that 4-piece here on the Gatsby, who will get it up to hit scans, and it is Azure, so it does get that 4-piece, and you keep the OC. Nano coming up at 89%. Last touch has to come in from Maelstrom. It has to be either the Lucio or the Reaper. Reaper using his step. Navigator finding a kill onto the back line here along with Azure. Payton finding the Reaper, throw that touch. It's just going to be the horse left, and it's not going to happen. Maelstrom fully stopped before even getting the point unlocked.
Yeah, really great defense. I was a little, like, you know, kind of scared how the Winston was going to play into this, but I think everything worked out pretty fine. Like, you know, they only maybe need like a tick and like a half maybe to win from what I remember. Or actually maybe 2 ticks, but really great defense. I'm wondering if they will stick to this monkey dive on attack. I definitely think it can work. I think if they if the monkey keeps playing like safe, the monkey doesn't seem to be dying too much, which is what I like to see. Like they only died maybe like 2 to 3 times, but that's kind of expected in this comp, against this comp at least. And everyone's been able to play slow and not maybe like lose a full fight immediately. So yeah, and shout out to Payton for the Ana gameplay. It was really really good nades that I saw from my part. Good value.
Absolutely, those nades going crazy. But we have a bit of a switch up on the compositions on both teams' front. Let's talk about Jade Dynasty, however, because they're going to be the ones trying to get this map completed here. They're going to switch over to that Genji Probably maybe just one shot on the Widow. However, we have seen teams run out. But in Ana Zen, what do you make of that?
I can see it going really well or really bad, I think. Zen obviously really vulnerable and also not as mobile. But I think the Ana and the Zen are able to play together, and you also do have like Nade and the Discord, which could be really good for the Genji, to put the Discord and like, you know, his Harmony Orb. But yeah, Aiden actually dying immediately, but Jack trades.
Yeah, Drac trades Sanity out, but without your Ana, which is going to be a main source of healing, it's going to look dangerous. However, Gatsby might have stayed too long with too much of a Discord on them. So right now, in favor of Jade Dynasty. However, like you said, they've been playing slow here. It's going to allow the rest of Maelstrom to regroup. They're going to get the first tick. However, you're going to see a re-engage come out. Scratch that. A rail shot goes onto Solar. Jax finding another one. Azur taking out the Mizuki. Here, a beautiful anti-nade stops Gatsby from going for that overtime touch. Right now, only 3 players left for Maelstrom. All 5 on the side of Dynasty looking healthy. Scratch that. Navigator goes back to spawn. Gatsby with that Discord. A lot of work being put into it. Jack finding, with the help of Azur on that Genji, some help. Azur, with the help of the rest of the support line, finds GG Sanity here. Solar does find the Zen on the Onron here, but is immediately traded out. Jack and Azur, a dynamic duo of dive here, and that's all it's gonna be on Hollywood. Jade Dynasty take another map.
Wow. Little celebratory blade at the end there. Pretty dominant map from Jade Dynasty so far. The Zen Ana ended up working out really well. I think the monkey was really in there, didn't really get punished, so was able to kind of do like a bit of damage with his gun and having his DPS follow up. And honestly, no major ults were, I believe, were needed to take that cap. So it was pretty clean attack from Dynasty. But I think Maelstrom can definitely bring it back. I think they maybe need to clean up, like, you know, maybe they should have like a Kiri with like their DPS, or you know, maybe they should do some like get some better angles, and maybe like make sure they're kind of punishing the back line, because the Ana Zen, I think if you can kind of force the nade to be a little bit more defensive, I think that would kind of be huge. And the Zen is also really fragile, so but yeah, that's my thoughts.
Couldn't agree more. Let's see if Fable can put that together as they're down 2-0 to Jade Dynasty. Welcome back, Annihilation Nation. We're on match point. Jade Dynasty up 2-0 against Maelstrom, heading to Coliseum, and we got some new bans for you. I'll let Marlo take that away.
Okay, so Maelstrom has decided to ban Winston this map, probably due to Jack's gorgeous performance last map, and but they followed up with the Kiri ban for the side of Dynasty, which I believe maybe Maelstorm's been playing Kiri for the most part, if I remember correctly. So maybe that'll kind of like hurt them a little bit, but I am feeling really confident for Dynasty right now. But I also believe that Maelstrom has the chops to bring it back.
Yeah, it looks like we have some extra bans in the lobby, so we might just be getting a reset here in just a second. But you're absolutely right about that. But we could be seeing a bit more of a flex support coming out. You know, with that Kiri ban, Kiri does prevent a lot of the utilities from flex supports coming out. With that ban, could open it up to more of that type of style. We did see Juno get hovered by Maelstrom, so we also could be seeing either a rush comp, we have seen the Malga coming out, or we could see the Brawl comp with the Ramantra. Now, Reinhardt has been played, and I'm not going to say Reinhardt's going to be picked here, but maybe.
I mean, it's definitely able to happen. There's nothing really making people not decide that. I personally am not the biggest fan of Ryan. Maybe that's like a really hot take, but I mean, people make it work, and it's honestly like they do a great job. But it seems like we are getting a queen from Gatsby. Jack going back on the Diva was a previous ban last map, so maybe he might be even better with his gorgeous Diva. Really has been like doing a lot of work, at least in my eyes, with Azure. But everyone on Dynasty has been in pretty good shape so far.
Yeah, on the opposite end though, Maelstrom, you can't catch Gatsby out. Has put up some great numbers on the scoreboard, just hasn't been able to click quite heavily. Of course, Sanity also finding great picks for their team, making it somewhat close. We do have a mid-fight. Gatsby does get the anti. Yeah, the flying anti gonna be big. The composition that Maelstrom's running really wants to rush down a target. However, this cat's going to be crucial for that survivability. Sanity finding Azure. That is a big pick for the Maelstrom crowd here. Going to open this map up just a bit. Going to allow them to move forward. Beautiful sleep goes on the Gatsby, halting a bit of a rush right now. Jade Dynasty in the lead with 1 meter. Big distance. However, Jack getting pressured down with a great swing of carnage here by Gatsby. Gonna force them back. Still needs some help from the Cat Ana. It's quite interesting to see a Cat Ana support line, especially without a Bastion. Cat not known as a great support on their own, but looks like they're making it work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Cat can. I mean, I think I've kind of seen it in pro play a little bit. I mean, Ana can get her nano pretty quickly. She did get that nerf to her perk, her speed perk with the nano. But I also think that the nade could be really like a big issue if Payton hits on the support or the tank, because there's nothing to really cleanse it, and Queen can kind of fall apart really fast.
Yeah, right now, 2 opening picks. First one was onto the Juno, and next is onto Solar. So Jade Dynasty catching up in this meterage. However, Queen with some self-sustain via these axe swings via Carnage and Fleet. However, Pulse Bomb goes on to the support of the Brigitte here on Maelstrom's side. Not too healthy of a health bar if you're Maelstrom, and lead given up. Dynasty right now in control, pushing the bot quite nicely. Everyone topped up on Maelstrom, so we might see a re-engage here. However, it's going to be Solar versus, but the Juno on Maelstrom. basically deleted by a Nano Diva dive here. Solar also finding the end of that Nano Diva. Diva still very strong in this meta, looking for another pick. Sanity very low, but it's gonna pop that OC when topped up. Bomb comes out, tries to get it. Navigator finds a Gatsby here. Azure taking out the Brigitte here. Maelstrom needs to back up. But good thing the bot was not being pushed there, as could be rolling away for them.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see Maelstrom choose a target to really rush at, but I do see it being incredibly difficult with how mobile everyone can be. The cat can just pick up the Ana or the Tracer, Diva, and even
yeah, here comes the Rampage.
Sierra.
That's what the Kiriko ban was for. Catnap onto Gatsby, however, gonna throw the tank off that map. Of course, forward progress has been gained by Jade Dynasty. Here comes the rally on the side of Maelstrom. Good for one. Looking for another one. Jack gonna reset, but not for the whip shot. Next, gonna give that progress over for Geet here. So Maelstrom gonna get the bot back. However, forward spawns again on the side of Jade Dynasty.
Yeah, nice fight win. We only use rally and maybe we use 3 ults here, but we do have our Juno ult. And we don't. They on the side of Dynasty doesn't really have any big ults besides Pulse. I hope maybe Azure just like clutches up and gets a crazy one. Okay, well there we go.
Yeah, that's Pulse.
That's definitely not good. Gets
No,
another one.
Azure finding these opening picks along with Navigator, especially onto the support line, forces Maelstrom to back up quite significantly. So we need Solar and we need Sanity to come up with some big picks, or at least stop this bleeding. Here comes the Orbital Ray. Cuts the map in two. Navigator and Azure on one side, the rest of Jade falling back. So it's going to look like a small kite. However, we do see Azure trying to take this. Kind of looks like a 1v3 in the backline. Wondering if they'll survive. Getting hunt down by the Brigitte. Does manage to squeak out. Solar, however, finds it at the end. Azure down, and the rest of the Alphars for Jade Dynasty looking quite rough. Bomb out. Not going to get anything as everyone pushed forward quite smartly out of Diva's range. And it looks like a quick cleanup for Jade Dynasty as Maelstrom's going to start getting the spot underway.
I'm seeing glimmers of hope for Maelstrom. Solar, really great chase onto Azure. Really opened it up the fight there. And then Gatsby able to kill Jack out of mech the second he used his bomb. I believe if we can win this next fight, we can definitely get checkpoint and have it even right now.
Yeah, you need Solar to come alive with a great pulse onto either a support player here on side Jade Dynasty, or, you know, getting that Diva out of mech quite early in this fight is going to be huge for Maelstrom. Navigator does find Sanity. Solar, Pulse Bomb, going wide on a Navigator. It's a great idea. Misses the target though. Nano onto a Sierra. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Gatsby with that homing dart and the perk, of course. Going to throw him back to spawn here, but the Brigitte having something to say on the side of Maelstrom. Really wants to keep their team alive in it. Solar going down. Navigator finding a second target in this fight. Eventually, the Juno Brig on the side of Maelstrom does get taken out, but solid cart progress from Maelstrom.
Yeah, and we have a tank swap up. Jack decided to no longer play Diva, is going on the Zarya. I think pretty straightforward choice. I mean, you can really, if you get high charge, you can really just like chunk down the enemy Junker Queen. She can't really do much other than just run away. But also a lot of ults on the side of Dynasty.
Yeah, the Jack might have stepped too far forward. Azure getting taken out. As soon as that bubble came out, you did see the Rampage thrown out from Gatsby. That's going to be big. It's going to allow their team to find some picks that they really do need at this certain time. But also what you need is someone on this bot. You may have won this fight, but you still got at least 2 more to get even close to where Jade Dynasty is. So good fight. Need to clean it up a bit, but still, got this OC coming up for Sanity.
Yeah, I mean, we only use the Junker Queen ult. All we have is cat ult. Maybe the cat can get like a low clutch, you know, like kill. Oh, Navigator gets a big pick on the support. Open up the fight.
Yeah, Navigator getting 2 actually, finding Sanity in this small room. 1 HP, needs some health as Jack finds Gatsby. Navigator finally going down with the assist of Solar and their Juno. Maelstrom, their supports really need to either play cover or play a bit more conservatively. They've been found out the last 3 times in these fights.
Yeah, Dynasty hasn't gotten too much progress. We're kind of just poking. Oh, Jack gets ran over. Nice shot by GG Sanity. Azure follows up in the Juno. Little trade.
Yeah, no, falling again the support line for Maelstrom. They do get some good progress from losing Jack early, but we really need Solar or at least someone to mark Azure. Just look at them. They are behind. They're hunting either this Juno, Brigitte. They're not going to be able to support this front line. A beautiful tracking dart onto Sanity from Navigator does find that kill. Gatsby turntail and running with their tail between their legs does get found out. Navigator finding another pick off here. And you can see a regroup over from Maelstrom here.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming up on grab soon. Oh! The Navigator accidentally throws themselves off.
Navigator throws himself off, but Hayden throws a beautiful 3 nade. However, it might be a little too late as Solar and the Brigitte on top of Maelstrom do find some opening kills here. And it's just Jack and Cat left. Gatsby immediately puts the Cat down and Solar cleaning up Jack. So, card progress gained by Jade and only 1 ult used. This is looking quite dire for Maelstrom.
Definitely is. We're kind of backed into a corner right now. We only have less than a minute. And Dynasty has their grab. They have their Cat ult, Sierra ult. But we do have double support ult, which I believe can definitely keep us alive if we use it wisely.
Yeah, but here's a good grab onto that backline. Gonna throw the OC. The nade is good, and Navigator with their ultimate on the Sierra finds 2. That's gonna clean up the backline of Maelstrom. Solar trying not to lose this map, putting his team on their back, trying to at least get back into it. It's gonna force at least the backline of Dynasty to back up a little bit. They're gonna get some good progress, but Navigator finding a beautiful tracking dart onto Gatsby is killed. Jack slams the Tracer. And that's all she wrote. Jade Dynasty is going to run away with this series 3-0.
Wow, I mean, we did see a lot of glimmers of hope for Jade, for Maelstrom. I mean, there wasn't too big of like a lead, but it just seems like they couldn't win like enough fights in a row to really like push the bot forward enough to really like make it a bit closer, or to just, you know, get a point on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You know, the support line getting picked off a few times too early did hamper them, but you got to give it up for Gatsby and Sanity. They, you know, really helped their team on their back. Tracer duel could have been a bit better, but when you're facing Azure and Jack, it's gonna be pretty tough.
Yeah, I agree. Azure did a really great job. Got a few highlights this match. And yeah, I mean, you know, Maelstrom, you just kind of go back, you know, look at the VOD, see what you did wrong. But I mean, really good job for everybody here today.
Yeah, good job from both of these teams. And if you want to join in later seasons or become a ringer yourself, you can join us on Discord, !Discord in the chat. My name's Alex, that's Marlo, and in production, you got Pello. From us to you, have a great night.